Hello everyone, and welcome back to the RobeTheMatoran channel, and I know it's been a while. After a very long hiatus, I have finally returned to you all with another Bionicle review for you all today. Bionicle Retro review, that is. And today we're looking at set number 8698, Vultraz, with a piece count of 133 pieces, retail for just $19 back in the day of 2008. This was released in the summer wave of 2008, so this is in the swamp, the secret swamps they called it. So this is where when we get to the final few sets, we get to the vehicles and stuff. So yeah, we're starting with, I think he's the first vehicle set I reviewed. No, Tori Nika. Tori Nika, that was the first one that I reviewed for like vehicles, but he's the second, and there's not much to talk about, but let's go ahead and get into it and talk about what there is to talk about. So firstly, opening up the box, there is 3 bags, none of them numbered. There is a not Kodak, is just a Sky Blaster, but there's an instruction manual, and that's it. Nothing else here, nothing really else to talk about because there's not a lot to talk about in this set, and I don't think they really need number bags with it, so it makes sense for why it's not numbered. Vultraz was once a Matoran from the village Trencrom Peninsula, became a Shadow Matoran, and served the Makuta Brotherhood. He gained the status as a criminal at one point, killing Mazika's mentor. We'll get into that character later. He did that in order to steal the tablets documenting the myths of the universe. It's like, this guy is so bad, he once destroyed an entire village for just a lava gem to appease a volcano. Like, this guy's pretty nuts, honestly. Now, with that out of the way, we can go ahead and talk about Vultraz, starting with Vultraz himself, because I'll save the vehicle for a little bit later. So we're going to talk about the RobeTheMatoran build, which I've already done a whole video about, so if you want my full-on specific thoughts about that, I would recommend go watching that. But just the short and sweet of it, I don't really like the build all that much. I mean, he has some recolors, so there goes that. But the build kind of sucks. The joints are bad because this is 2008, mind you. So 2008 joints and limbs are just bad, and there's no repairing that. So that already gives him a pretty low rating on that alone. So not much going from there, but he does have recolors like I just mentioned. He has all the limbs in dark Mechi red, so if you want to mock him, provided the pieces don't crack on you, I think it's pretty good on that, I guess, but I wouldn't recommend it because, again, 2008, they just have a real tendency to just completely go to absolute hell if you take them apart or reassemble them or use it for something else. So yeah, or just casually playing with it. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. So definitely not. He has a unique mask. This mask actually does not have an official name. It's just the Mask of Scavenging. It's a powerless one at that. So it's an okay looking mask. Like, it's dual moded and it's slightly off colored from the rest of his body because it's dual moded. It's a little odd looking, but that's like the only real interesting thing or uniqueness that he has, because everything else we have seen these parts before. So he has the unique mask, and underneath the mask is, well, his head is the same RobeTheMatoran head, which I already discussed that I don't like, and that's pretty much about it for Vultraz. So going on to his vehicle, which I don't remember the name. I can't think of the name right now. So I think it's called a Skyrider or something like that. I don't remember the name. Regardless, it's a pretty simple build. Nothing extreme or unique about it, other than maybe the shaping of it, I guess. But it's not something that I really like because, honestly, it's kind of small and flimsy. And I mean, sure, it can swoosh, but that's with anything, with any flying or vehicle that Bionicle has released or whatever. So it has a good swooshing, I guess. Personally, for me, I think the vehicle looks better when Vultraz is not on the vehicle. When it's just by itself, I think it looks a lot better. I think it kind of stands out on its own. Like, it could almost be like, it almost kind of reminds you of Arahi when Vultraz is not on it, but when he's on it, it kind of just takes away from it, and Vultraz is kind of awkwardly sitting on it, so it kind of just ruins it. So I think it's better if you just take him off and just have the vehicle on its own and have him away from it. So Vultraz is kind of worthless in this set, but that's really all I can really say about it. I mean, it has a few functions, like obviously you can shoot the Sky Blaster. It's just the ones that we already seen in this year alone, well, already introduced and we already seen. And he has this weird flaps with these, I don't know what you call these pieces, but you can open it up and I guess it's where you put the extra ammo at, I suppose. And aside from that, that's pretty much it. It doesn't have any real functions. You can't really articulate it. And I forgot to mention with Vultraz, yes, he has articulation, even though joints recommend doing any real joint movements or articulation with them at all, because joints, they're going to crack, they're going to break bad. So definitely wouldn't recommend. And that's really about it for this review. I really wish I could have gotten into more detail about it, but there's not much to really say because this is kind of a throwaway set that no one really thinks about because no one really cares for the set, and I don't either. So the score I give it, this is not from any bias or anything personal feeling from it. It's just kind of like a 4.8. Like, it's below average, but I don't hit it enough to give it a lower score, but I don't like it enough to make it above or right at average because it's not an average set. It's below average, definitely. And I really can't recommend getting this. Like, honestly, this is just like a throwaway set that you do for spare parts, like using the vehicle for spare parts. Vultraz, I don't know what you could use him for because he is really flimsy because 2008 joints. So honestly, I wouldn't recommend getting it. If you want to buy it, I would just buy it. You probably could get away buying it brand new, but that's like $100. And do you really want to buy a Vultraz for $100? I don't think you would. So I would say get them used, but then the joints could possibly break and crack and be already damaged. So I just say don't get it. So those are my thoughts on this set. There's not much to say. I hate that this video is so short, but there just wasn't much I could really talk about with this set and really give you a deep dive discussion because I have no real personal feelings towards it other than it's just like whatever throwaway set. That's just the nature of this set. So 4.8, that is your score. I hope you all enjoyed this review and join me next time when we look at his arch nemesis, Mazika, a far more interesting set, but still with a lot of issues on its own. But hopefully I'll have a lot more to say in that video than this one because there's just not much here. So thank you all so much for watching. And if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. I greatly appreciate that. And also thank you for 700 subscribers. I feel like I did not mention that before on my page or anything like that. So I'm going to mention it in this video. So thank you all so much for that. And I appreciate it. And I will bid you all adieu.